What's up, people? Justin back here again, part 2 of the series. Massive thanks on the first video success. I think we are at like 90 views, 95 views, something like that. Like, way more than all the other crap I've ever posted, except for my mom at the Nürburgring. That was just a fluke thing, because my mom is ridiculous. But, much appreciated. I appreciate everybody following along, signing on. Hopefully, like I said, this is a cool thing we can do weekly, bi-weekly, whenever I have time, whenever I remember to do it. I'm doing this at like really late. I don't even know what time it is. Like midnight on Friday night, because I've been hanging around doing some homework, making college food and stuff like that. But today we are going to talk about cystic fibrosis, and specifically my cystic fibrosis, and how it impacts me. How mine is a little bit different than everybody else's, or not everybody else's, but most people I've come across in my life. And I've met a lot of people that have either had cystic fibrosis or know someone, unfortunately, that passed away from cystic fibrosis, or a family member, or someone from their church or their school or something like that. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to talk a little bit about treatments and stuff that I have to do daily to upkeep myself, things that are different and harder because of my CF and things like that. So hopefully y'all enjoy. Remember to drop a like, subscribe. These will be here every week down below. I think my channel is called Justin Krasneski or something really original like that. But anyways, starters, cystic fibrosis, basics. Basically, it impacts your lungs mainly, specifically for most people, and your digestive system secondarily. However, me being the special one-of-a-kind person I am, when God made me, he messed up, because he made the digestive system number one issue and the lungs number two, which is, I'm extremely thankful for it, don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't want to say it's a blessing, because it still sucks, obviously. I have my own battles, my own challenges, things that I go through, that a lot of people that just have lung issues don't really understand and don't really comprehend, and that's both good and bad. Obviously, the lung issues are the real serious part of CF, and they're the things that are going to put it blatantly, basically eventually kill you, to be honest with you. It's more of a, if you can't breathe, you have some serious issues, and you have very serious limitations on what you can do day to day in your life and stuff like that. But as far as digestive issue goes on my part, day after I was born, I had 6 feet of my intestines removed because they were blocked. Long story short, the doctors messed up everything and fixing it and putting it all back together. I was in NICU for like 6 weeks or something like that after I was born. Didn't get to go home till like February of after I was born. And basically, because of that, I have like basically terrible natural digestion, obviously, of food, everything. Anything with fat in it, or protein is in there some, but basically fat. So, everything basically except like water and fruits and vegetables, essentially. Anything that has fat in it, from, noodles to steak, cheeseburgers, like chocolate, milk, food. Every food that's, an actual, like, mealy food, it probably has fat in it. Potatoes, obviously, do not really have fat in them, essentially. But, I mean, anything that you can think of, butter. Butter is a big one. Butter has a crap ton of fat. But, yeah, so because of that, I have to take a bunch of pills called Creon, commonly known in the Krasneski loop as beads, because that's exactly what they look like. I don't have some on me. I didn't think this through very well. Basically, there are these pills that supplement your digestion and, accentuate that so you're able to eat food and fat, obviously. They're hella expensive because they're hella important, and there's a lot of them. I think I get like, I want to say it's like, I'm not going to say the wrong number. I want to say it's like 5,000 of them at a time or something like that, and packs of 10, like 100, like 500 of them in a grouping, and there's like 10 groupings, so it's like 5,000 at a time, something like that. Ridiculously expensive, obviously crucially important. What I do have on hand, though, my daily pill case, Sunday through Saturday. In here, there are about, on any given day, about 10 pills that I take, supplements, vitamins. I don't really know. I'm not the expert. I'm here to take them, not debate them. But, yeah, I mean, all that stuff is crucially important. Like I said, take them, most of my stuff is twice a day. Creon, obviously, is whenever I eat something with fat. Then there are stuff like Orkambi and tobramycin podhaler, which are more recent drugs that have come out in the last handful of years, 4 or 5 years probably, for both of those. The Orkambi actually what creates CF mutation in I think it's a protein deficiency, not efficiency, but it doesn't link up correctly somewhere. There's a protein in there somewhere that doesn't link up correctly in your what do you call it stuff? DNA. I had biology. Don't worry, I had biology. I passed. I got a B. It's okay. The protein deficiency in your DNA somewhere that doesn't link up correctly with a salt molecule or something like that. They try to tell me this stuff, and I'm just like, yo, I'm living it. I don't care about the science. It's not me. I'm not a statistics guy. So yeah, but there are a lot of cool drugs. There are a lot of drugs that are kind of pain, honestly. But excuse me, a lot of drugs that are really cool. A lot of you that know me fairly well know more about them than others. I talk about them fairly regularly. Obviously, they're a big part of my life. Obviously, Creon I take with me basically everywhere I go, because there's no spontaneous, hey, let's go to Culver's, because if I didn't bring any drugs, I'm not eating any Culver's. I mean, but that's kind of my life from the drug standpoint. Obviously, with digestive issues, that's a much bigger issue for me. I'm very, very lucky, very thankful that I have the lungs that I have, to have the lung function I have, almost always up over 100 and 105% plus, usually hovering between 105 and 110, 112-ish. So very, very thankful for that. Obviously, very, very lucky, very, very honored to be able to represent the CF community and represent what's possible in terms of lung function. Obviously, going along with that, I have to do crazy amounts of self-caring, exercise. I work out a lot. I mean, I work out every single day in my room, lift stuff, try to do more running. I need to do more running. I'm not a big fan of running, honestly, but it's especially more in like indoors. I'm not a fan of running indoors at all, but I try to get out, run outside when it's not nice out. It's supposed to snow like 7 or 8 inches tomorrow, so that's not going to happen. But I really need to run more, take care of my lungs, honestly. But I play a lot of basketball, like probably at least 4 times a week. I'm down at the, excuse me again, sorry, I got the hiccups like hell now. Down at the gym shooting hoops, I'm doing something with somebody, doing little workouts, anything like that. I actually just sprained my foot in the basketball game this past week, so I've kind of had to take a week off, and be a little bit easier on it. But hopefully we'll get cleared either tomorrow or Sunday morning. I'm going to go visit the trainer at the gym place. I don't even know what it's called. But yeah, so hopefully that'll be all well. But yeah, I take a lot of pride in how hard I work. I got to thank my parents when I was raised. Did a fantastic job. Mom and Dad, thank you. Keeping me away from people that were sick, keeping me away from people that had a cough, and always bringing, hand sanitizer, making me wash my hands. And, when I'm sick, it's like, I just washed my hands 10 minutes ago, and I looked at one guy and said, hey, and he went, and then I'm like, I don't need to wash my hands again. But to be honest with you, it was really, really important. I see that now. Taking care of myself is a big deal, obviously, and I'm very thankful that I have that baseline now where, we know where I am. If my PFTs are 99%, that's a bad day. And I know for every other CF patient in the world, pretty much, for the most part, not obviously everybody, for the most part, if you're at freaking 99%, you're fantastic, you're rolling, you're doing things right. But for me, that'd be like, what did you do? You start smoking weed, and you're sketchy, and you're not working out, not taking any of your pills. Obviously, I'd never smoked weed. That'd be a death sentence for everyone. CF, don't take that literally. Don't smoke weed. It's not legal yet. You don't want to get busted. Anyways, back on track. Sorry. I'm trying to have fun. With this. But where was I going? I don't even remember where I was going. But the drugs are crucially important. I gotta thank my parents for keeping me very healthy. Keeping my baseline very high. Like I said, I work out a lot. I keep everything very clean. Try to. It's clean, like from a clean standpoint. I work very hard, stay healthy. My CF is not really like anybody else's, from what you've heard, obviously. There aren't a lot of people that have, crazy, terrible digestion and, ridiculously good lungs, basically, to put it easily. And so that's kind of hard for some people to grasp and understand sometimes. It's especially hard for my professors and stuff at school, and I had the same problem at high school. They expect it when I say they have cystic fibrosis, they go on Wikipedia or whatever, read the basics. Why is somebody screaming in the hallway? Anyways, it's like I said, it's like 12:15. Should probably go to bed, but we'll finish this up. So like my teachers, professors, and stuff didn't really understand. Like a couple years ago when I took my Make-A-Wish trip to Homestead, Miami, Florida, they were like, "Oh my gosh, are you dying? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, I just have to take it before I turn 18 or 19 or whatever. I forget what the cutoff is, but I have to take this trip like in November. Like, it's cool. I'm not dying. I'm not dead. But you know, when they read that, when they aren't, I won't say not educated, but when they're not up to date on, you know, the actual finite life of CF, it's very, very difficult for them to comprehend, at least on a basic initial level, which is difficult for me. So I always try to, you know, go visit them one-on-one, explain to them a little bit my scenario. You know, less about, you know, me dying at any given time. It's more about, you know, if I'm sick one day and miss class, if I can make up the notes and, you know, make up the attendance points or whatever. So it's not really a big deal. Yeah, as far as my CF goes personally, I think I manage it pretty well. I try my best to be a role model for everybody in the CF community of what's possible. Obviously, people have better digestion than me. You know, some people don't even have to take any pills necessarily like that, but everybody's CF is a little bit different. Mine definitely so. And I'm very thankful that I'm able to be a role model in the community, be a you know, kind of, I don't want to say a max goal, but like, you know, someone, it's definitely attainable. It might not be attainable for everybody. It certainly isn't attainable for everybody, but you know, the people that are at 25 PFT percentage, I want them to shoot for 30. I want them to shoot for 35. And if, you know, if a good day for them is waking up and not coughing for an hour straight because their lungs are that bad, so be it. For me, a good day would be I'm able to run a mile in under 8 minutes because I'm not in shape anymore of cross country and track. But I mean, you know, stuff like that. It's little goals, but every bit of inspiration that I can give is crucial to me. But I think we'll wrap it up there. I think I've talked about enough. It's not very interesting. It's not very... I'm not good at this. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm not good at this, but we'll work out and we'll get better. Next week, I think we're going to talk about catfish. Not the kind of catfish that you eat. Interesting story with that one. We'll talk about the Michaela scenario, as a lot of you probably already know. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about some other people that I've known that have gone through this similar thing, and we might talk about 2 topics that week. I don't think I'll take very long with that because I don't really have a lot to say about it. We might talk about something else. We might talk about some classes I'm taking, some stuff I do around here, stuff like that. But until then, peace.